always wanted to do a work about Angel Island, which was the main immigration checkpoint before you were allowed into America on the West Coast. So this particular work was designed through a lot of research about the individuals that went through Angel Island, what were their experiences, how long did they stay, how many actually made it into the United States. I wanted to have be abstract, convey emotions, but also be very realistic in probably what individuals were feeling. So there's a sense of containment, a sense of trauma. It's a difficult work where people are trapped within a limited amount of space.
We as dancers were able to help with some of the movement through what we call improvisation, or through movement studies, choreographic studies.
When we started creating that work, we did start with some raw movement, but early on in the process, he started to define space for us. And so we started working in sort of a rectangle on the floor. And so it was interesting to see how the movement changed based on how the space had changed, how we were confined to a small area.
We were researching the idea of confinement, so he made us do our own phrases with that idea of moving in a confined space, more particularly in some space that had a relation with our childhood, like our bedroom or something, and that was very interesting working that way.
I play one of the guards, and we sort of sit on the outside of this enclosure that's supposed to represent an internment camp. And I think our job is to be present, but to never be distracting.
My character is not a positive character. I actually am very aggressive towards one of the other dancers whose character is of a detainee or a person trying to make their way through Island, and so it's a really challenging piece to perform because there's a really subtle nuance that happens throughout the work until a big crescendo at the very end where there's a huge amount of aggression and violence.
There's death scenes, there's a lot of emotional scenes going on, and when I actually opened myself up to receiving the action, receiving the emotions, my character naturally responded, and I tried to make it a very reactive process. So instead of trying to choreograph exactly how I would move and respond, I would leave it to being in the moment of the piece. And I feel that the emotion naturally climaxed towards the end, where the part that Connie Fink plays, when that character dies, for me that was the emotional climax. I actually felt like I was witnessing a death, and I credit that to Dana, because it's amazing that you can actually choreograph something that, choreographically, emotionally climax. And me as a dancer, I was keyed in and feeling that too. So that was a really wonderful experience.
Just that, they were poor, they were taken advantage of, abused horribly, incarcerated, but still proud and still not giving up hope.
If someone asks me where here is, I will tell him, this is our homeland, but here there is poverty, there is war.
We are all travelers in this world. The party will go until dawn, but eventually it will all come to an end, and we will all part ways.